starting our first hour in the starting fee of $99.99 plus $23.75 times, and initially a lot of us probably put H, but then we saw that that would give us a little bit more money than we needed. So you're going to do H minus 1, and that equals the total cost. So why you have to do H minus 1 is because if you did it for 3 hours, right, you would end up getting $171 if you didn't do the H minus 1, because that $99.99 is like your starting point. That's where you're starting for this, because that first hour is not included. So now what we're going to do, maybe you guys wrote something different, but you're going to see how this equation that we just wrote is similar to what you did if you had another one that you checked with the table and it still worked. Okay, so now if we were going to change this one so it looked more like this line where it's AX plus B equals C, what we would have to do to get rid of these parentheses, we would have to use the distributive property. So use the distributive property would be the answer to this one. And that's going to break through these parentheses. So if we're going to rewrite this equation using the distributive property, you're going to see it may end up looking like one that you wrote. So 99.99 plus 23.75H minus 1 equals the total cost. So now the first thing I'm going to do is distribute that 23.75 to the H. And then again, I'm going to rewrite this as plus a negative 1. And then plus a negative 23.75. Now that I've done that, I can start to combine some like terms. So since this term in the front, the first and the third term, are both constants, I'm going to find the difference of those two and I can combine them. Since they don't have any common, any variables, they're like terms. So I'm going to subtract them. Since I have a positive and a negative, I end up with $76.24 plus 23.75 times H equals the total. Now asking us to compare the two equations we wrote. So they're similar and they're different in that, like, the top one, you can write anything you want for this one. The top one has parentheses, the bottom one doesn't. You could say that the constants are different, but they're the same hourly fee. Very good. And it doesn't have this minus 1 over here. So in a fee scenario for Limousines by Lilly, so we can say, so what they mean by this is, how would you like describe this if you're going to advertise for Limousines by Lilly? So would you say that you pay $99 for the first hour and $23.75 for every hour after it? Or would you say you pay an initial fee of $76.24 to rent the limousine and then $23.75 for each hour, for every hour? So those are the two differences between the equations and how you would explain it too. So you would say, like, I think I would describe it as $99.99 for the first hour and $23.75 for each hour after. So that would just be like how I would describe it. I think it's pretty clear to me for that one. And then for this last one, we're going to go back to that. Let's use our second equation because I think that one's a little bit easier. Of 76, was it 24? 76.24 plus 23.75 H equals the total cost of 266.24. And then so now when we start to solve this, you can start to subtract, undo it, just like those two steps we've been doing. Minus 76.24. We're going to end up with zeros, which is going to be $190. So we're left with 76.24, and I should have been neater with that, so I wouldn't have to rewrite it, but I'll rewrite it over here. Oh, and this part is gone, right? So 23.75H equals 190. And now think undo order of operations. 190 divided by 2378 or 75 is going to give me 8 hours. So to rent, it would you could rent the limo for 8 hours if you had $266.24. What I want you guys to do now is we're going to look at the transportations with class 1, and we're going to answer. The questions are very similar. So this next page, except I had this next page in Classroom as an assignment for you guys. So you guys are going to answer in Classroom, and you're going to turn that in for some feedback. And then on Friday, I'll have a video explaining how to do this one. And then after that, so if you finish this, you turn it in on Google Classroom, you can check Khan Academy and work on that assignment as well. Okay. Hope you guys have a great day.